first official book reading vlog. I realized I really love reading. We're here today to read A Little Life. A lot of trigger warnings in this book. It is depressing. Why is everybody crying about this book? I want to know, am I gonna cry? Jude. I was reading at night and I had to stop because it just really sucks. I couldn't imagine going through something like that. I will not reread that book. She shouldn't have wrote that book and it was insensitive. What's up, book lovers? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my first official book reading vlog. So I have done a book video before. I went shopping for a few books on my channel, but I haven't done any more since then. I have bought many more books. I have read not a lot of books, but last year is my first. Okay, let me get y'all the backstory. So basically last year, I gotta look at my Goodreads, but I believe it was August, September, I started reading. I really loved it, really enjoyed it. I have never read a book before then. Follow me on my Goodreads, by the way, so you can see what I read. But I had never read a book before then that wasn't for school. So once I started reading, I realized I really loved reading. So I started getting really deep into finding booktubers. I'm really not into book talk, but a lot of YouTubers I watch, I love seeing their book videos and stuff like that. So I decided to start incorporating reading into my channel. So therefore, that's why we're here today to read A Little Life. Now, if you guys are not readers, you don't know about this book, this is a book that a lot of people say that it was a roller coaster for them to read. They had a lot of emotions, it scarred them, they're traumatized, all of that from this book. There's a lot of trigger warnings in this book, and I really didn't read the trigger warnings. I didn't know where to find the trigger warnings, honestly. But from what people were saying in their videos that wasn't spoilers, it's a lot of graphic or traumatic things that happen in this book. So just look up the trigger warnings. For me, I don't really get triggered, so I didn't really search them up. But yeah, basically it's about 4 men that start off broke and just basically navigating life, finding their ambition, their friendship, based in New York. And they're in search of fame and fortune, and they talk about their past. They basically just trying to get through life. It's about the families we are born into and those that we make for ourselves. So yeah, I'm very excited to read this. As you guys can see, I did start it. I'm this much through it. Page 239. Yeah, I'm on part 2. This is part 1. Honestly, nothing really happened. This is going to be a spoiler-free video. I'm not going to tell you what happened in the book. But part 1, nothing really happens. It's just basically about getting to know the characters and stuff like that. Part 2, it's kind of like the same. You find out a little bit, but it's nothing too traumatic or nothing like that for us to read. But for them in the book, it is traumatic incidents. But to read, it's not hard. It took me a while to read this book because it is depressing. When you're depressed, you really don't want to read a depressing book. So that's why it's taking me so long to get through this book. I've actually started reading it months ago, and you guys know I've been going through a lot. So I basically didn't want to pick it up and read it. And that paused me from reading all my other books because I feel like once I start a book, I have to finish it before I move on to another one. So that's why I'm like, I gotta do this video. If I'm doing this video, it's gonna push me to pick up this book, film it, and read it, and find out what happens to these 4 men. Why is everybody crying about this book? I wanna know, am I gonna cry, or am I just gonna feel things for the characters, or am I gonna shed a tear? I hope you guys enjoyed this book. Let me know, well, not this book. I hope you enjoyed watching me read. Let me know if I should do more of these videos. I'm definitely gonna do more shopping videos from when I pick up books. I just really go in there and it be spontaneous and I don't think to record, and I grab books. I really want to have my background on my books, but I gotta get me a bookshelf or something so y'all can see all my books in there. I have quite a few books. Like, I'm sad that they're still packed up. I want y'all to see the book. I want to look at the books. Let's go ahead and get into reading this. I'm finna just pick up where I left off. I hope I can get through this book. This book is 800 pages and I'm on 235, and today is Thursday at 5:30. So let's see what I can read today. So like, comment, subscribe, drop down below your favorite books. I'm a beginner reader, y'all. I don't know the exact terms for everything. So if y'all catch me saying something, correct me in the comments if you're a reader. But let's go ahead and get started reading A Little Life. First of all, let's go ahead and talk about it. My eyes are kind of like dry and irritated, so I gotta breeze them up. So just don't mind that. Let's not mind how I look. I'm chilling in the house with the kids. All right, the last time I talked to y'all, I had started back reading. I've been listening to it on Audible, and I've been following along with the book. I haven't read on my Kindle because I got the physical book, so I just haven't been reading it on my Kindle. I'm not gonna tell y'all what page I'm on because I don't want to know spoilers or nothing. But I'm in the 400s, okay? I'm on chapter 3 of part 4, and Jude. Now, so far in the book, okay, when I read it, I had just started part 3 of the book, and I had realized, like I told you, I had reread a lot of what I've already read. So the first 3 parts of the book, it really wasn't too crazy, honestly, for me. You heard some sad stuff, but it didn't make me want to cry. Now we're on part 4, and that's when it gets deeper. Part 4 is very deep. I haven't cried yet, but it's sad. Like, I was reading at night, and I had to stop because I was scared of what was about to happen. I could see where people say it's very triggering. I'm not triggered, but I could see how other people can get triggered. I'm really enjoying the book. Once part 4 started, that's when I really started, okay, I'm ready to read. I want to get into the book. I'm ready to pick it up. The first 3 parts, I was just like, it's kind of repetitive. Like, okay, I get it. It's sad. They're sad. They went through stuff. But it was very repetitive, the first 3 parts. But now that I'm on part 4 and finna finish part 4, that's when the book is getting crazy. It's getting more into what's going on, what happened and stuff like that. So this is very sad. I don't feel like I'm gonna cry, but I've started, like, if y'all read this book, you know what part I'm on. And it's very sad. And this is a spoiler-free video, but I just wanna say, Jude has had a crazy life, and for the stuff that's happened to him to continue to happen to him, it just really sucks. Like, it just really sucks. I don't wanna cry, but it just really sucks. I couldn't imagine going through something like that. But I turned on the camera because I want to get my reaction to this, to the next few pages of this book, and see if I shed a tear. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is how much I'm done. I'm halfway through. This is taking me a few days to record, but let's go ahead. Let's get back into this because I don't want to cry, but I just might. But I'm strong. I don't know if books can make me cry. Like, they can make me feel things, but I don't know if books can make me cry. Let's go ahead and finish reading this.
"It's a good story," he said. He even grinned at me. "I'll tell you." "Please," I said. And then he did.
What's up, you guys? So, as you guys saw, I did finish A Little Life. Y'all, I gotta get my book aesthetically pleasing backgrounds together. So for right now, it's just gonna be like, you know. But back to the book. So yes, I did finish A Little Life, and I started this book originally February 4th. It's April 19th now, and we moved and stuff, so I didn't actually read it the whole time. And this is the longest book I've ever read. So once I got back to reading it, it wasn't that long. It took me like maybe like 3 days to film this video. I got kids too, so I can't read all day. The last time I updated y'all, I believe I was reading part 3 or 4, and I told y'all it had just like started book telling us about what really happened. This book is not for everybody. I'm just gonna say that. I did not cry, but I could see how people that's been through some stuff that happened in this book would cry and feel like very deep feelings about this. The only thing for me, I did feel sad throughout the book, and I felt like, wow, like I couldn't go through that. I couldn't imagine that. I had feelings for the characters, but I wasn't torn up about it. I wasn't traumatized or anything like that. But I could see how some people that went through those things, or know people that went through those things, can be traumatized or triggered. It was a really good book. I don't see why people hate on it. Besides people that say it's traumatizing, I don't see why people say she shouldn't have wrote that book and it was insensitive and stuff like that. I feel like if you read the trigger warning and you still choose to read that book, then I feel like that's on the person that chose to read that book. But for me, I knew the trigger warning from watching other people's videos. I could sense some of the trigger warnings. I never looked them up, but I could sense what it could be. And then reading the book, the beginning, you could sense what it was, but it didn't trigger me. I feel like she wrote that book very beautifully. Some things were repetitive, and that's something I didn't like about the book, telling us about a lot of stories multiple times. I feel like the book was kind of like dragged out a little bit, but it was a good book. I would rate it a 4-star book. The way she told the story and the way she made you feel about all the characters, like real life situations, she just wrote it beautifully. I will not reread that book though, because it was so long and so repetitive, and if you're depressed, it's gonna make you even more depressed. It's gonna put you in a sad slump about life and stuff. But I would just wanted to read it so bad, I just kept pushing through it. But now that I read the whole thing, I would say it's a 4-star read. Look up the trigger warnings and you feel like you won't be triggered, I suggest you read it, because it does make you appreciate your life more. I promise you, that book makes you appreciate your life. Once you're done reading it, it really makes you appreciate the little things that you take for granted. And I just say it was a good book. I don't really have any bad things to say about it, just that it was a little repetitive and it does make you depressed. But I already knew that once you started reading the book, you could already sense that. But if you haven't read it, I would say read it, but just look up the trigger warnings. I feel like everybody should just read it like once, just because it just makes you feel and appreciate life. But yeah, that's all I have with this review. I am gonna be dropping more book videos. Send me you guys suggestions of all types of books. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading vlog. This is my first. They're gonna get better as I keep doing them, so make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next book video.